Good evening, ladies and gentlemen and fellow meditators. I have been asked this evening to talk of the Dhamma in English as clearly as I can possibly do to help you understand why people spend time meditating, what is to benefit, what is to be learned, how does it help you be a more functional, happier person in today's society, and what can this do for not only yourself but your family and inevitably the world. In my path, in my growth and development, I wanted to pursue meditation for very personal reasons. I was looking for a path that would teach me how to be at peace, more happy, more settled, and develop an understanding of how things are working in my life. And I searched for years, not really coming up with anything other than knowing for whatever reason that I wanted to learn to meditate. Years ago, to get me started, my family supported me in helping me by giving me a weekend at a monastery and also a simple tape on how to meditate. At that point, I did not understand that there were many kinds of meditation practice and many things to achieve in Vipassana practice. I tried different systems in the meditation world and found one that was satisfying to me, helped me grow and understand, and for the first time know how to use it in every aspect of my life. The Buddha teaches us that everything in our lives tends to pull us away from the way things really are. And when we act on those things that we think we know is really happening, then we begin to be unhappy. We suffer. We experience things that make no sense. He said, if we just turn that around and just see things for the way they are, then peace will be yours, life will be easier to bear, even the most difficult things in life can be helped by a deep meditation practice. And with those words and with that trust, I started to meditate on my own, not knowing what to do, how to do it, and found out that there was indeed a technology of meditation that can be taught and learned and then practiced. But for me, the greatest gift of that instruction was to find out that all aspects of my life began to be at peace. I was more at ease with the pleasant things in life, the unpleasant things in life, the natural ups and downs in a meditation practice. And this was seeing things just as they are, over and over again. Well, along my path, I eventually wound up in this temple here in Denver, and there was a monk who was willing to teach me how to do Vipassana practice. And over years of training with him, I began to see that there was enormous wisdom to be gained by continuing my meditation practice. My own self was informing me, yes, this is what I should be doing for myself and for my family and for the world. And so I have continued up to the present day. The technology of this meditation practice starts off with an understanding that there are basically two kinds of meditation practice. There's the development of deep concentration, and then there is the development of mindfulness and the wisdom that grows out of that mindfulness. And by using both concentration and mindfulness together, then I am doing vipassana, because I am spending my time and my energies on seeing things just as they are, not as they were 2 minutes ago, not as they will be in 2 minutes, but right here, right now. And years ago, when I was reading a great deal about the meditation practice, the title of the book, Be Here Now, suddenly made sense to me. How do I know that I'm right here, right now? Well, I use words in my practice. If my breath is rising, then I say rising, falling. I could say in, out. But as long as my words are happening at exactly the same time as the action within me, then I know I am being mindful. And I know a lot of literature talks about developing deep mindfulness, but no one really helped me understand how I could know from moment to moment what it is to be mindful. What is it to be fully concentrated? What is it to be fully mindful? Is that cutting me off from the world outside of me? By no means. Is it allowing me to see deeply within myself? Absolutely. Does it allow me to see my own reactions to what's going on around me more clearly, and understand that even that is teaching me some things about the way things are, just as they are, not what I'd like them to be or want them to be, but just are that way. And so I found from my practice that I really could take this outside of the meditation hall, and I could use this in the work that I was doing. I could do this with my family. I could do this every single moment of my life, throughout my life, all the way to the end of my life. Just seeing things for the way they are. And that was satisfying to me. Do you need a teacher? It's very helpful to have a teacher. Not all practitioners are able to find someone with whom they can work comfortably. And so it's really the duty of the person wanting to learn to meditate to sample all of the different resources that we have in the Denver, Boulder, Fort Collins, and Colorado Springs area, and all the communities in between, because there are many different shades of meditation practice, and each one of them stress somewhat different things, but all are working towards an understanding of seeing all things all of the time just as they are, right here, right now. So when a beginner comes to a retreat that I teach here at this temple or at other temples, I make sure that they understand that we're not thinking about meditation. We are actually doing meditation when we harness the energies and our effort to watching the rise and fall of the breath. We don't control the breath. We don't try to make it deep, long, short, or anything. The body knows how to breathe. So you just watch it, rising, falling, or in, out, or any other words that are comfortable to you in any language, just as long as you know that when you're taking a breath, you're seeing that breath. And as you begin to meditate, you will see the craziness of our minds. You start taking an in-breath and suddenly your mind flies away. And the rest of the in-breath, it flies away. It can fly away many, many times during one in-breath or one out-breath. Well, if we are practicing Vipassana meditation and seeing things just for the way they are, then when your attention falls away from the breath, you look at that going away and coming back. Distracted or feeling or hearing or tasting or sensing or touching, any one of those things, millions of things, can come to interrupt simple concentration. Simple concentration is defined as being able to pay your full attention to one thing at a time, with no distraction. Well, that's not something you force. That takes some retraining of your mind, retraining of your body. To intend to actually see the rise and fall of the breath is a powerful thing, surprisingly difficult. And you see how everything tends to distract you from just watching a single breath. So this is not easy, but it is something that you can do anywhere, at any time, because you're alive, and by necessity you have to breathe. So there it is, and breathing is used as an anchor when we do sitting meditation. Now, while you're sitting, you begin to sense different things in your body. That's very normal. Depending on how your body is, it may be painful, or it may bring tingles to you, or you can't even pay attention to it. It's very different for each individual. But as long as you know what you're seeing and watching it until it fades away on its own, and don't judge it, don't like it, don't dislike it, just see it, then you're practicing Vipassana meditation. Sounds simple? It is not. In addition, after periods of sitting, we introduce walking meditation practice. Different styles of a walking meditation, but all of them are asking you to pay attention to your footsteps and really pay attention to how your foot and your body is moving through space. Now, if you're like me, and I suspect you are, you haven't paid attention to your footstep since you were just learning how to walk. Well, now we relearn and look at how much this body already knows. We know it knows how to breathe. Now we're going to observe the foot rising and moving and falling. Rising, moving, and falling. There are different systems in the various methods of meditation practice, but in Vipassana practice, we actually walk as much as we sit, so that you're not getting so concentrated that you start falling asleep, or that you start having out-of-body experiences. And over a long period of sitting practice, you just naturally get tired. And the walking practice, combined with the standing practice, is one of the ways we recharge ourselves with energy. One of the great Thai teachers, Ajahn Chah, was a fairly simple man. He was raised on a rice farm in Thailand and taught mostly simple farmers and simple Americans who came to learn Vipassana meditation from him. And one of his quotes really applies to what I've just said to you. He says, when you're sitting in meditation, say, "That's not my business," with every thought that comes by. And there's great wisdom in this, because if you watch your own thinking in meditation practice, you know a thought will pop up in your head, and then you'll either like it or dislike it, wonder where it came from and where it's going to, and get all involved in that thought. But that's taken you away from the breathing, and it's taken you away from the walking. So, if a thought comes, it's not my business. In Vipassana we say, thinking, thinking, thinking. And one of the gifts in Vipassana is that when you see something for what it is, just as it is, it goes away fairly quickly. And so you're not bothered by these stray thoughts without using thinking, 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 or feeling, 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 tasting, 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 because you experience it, it moves on, and the next sensation arises, and you are practicing Vipassana meditation. And 3 minutes left. Okay. So, I come to Denver to teach every few months, and I post messages on various locations, and I put it on Facebook. The temple puts it on their page so that you can see just when I'll be coming in to teach a meditation class. In the meantime, there are monks here with varying different degrees of English, and will be able to help you in the beginning steps of walking and sitting. And then the wonderful world of deepening wisdom will unfold if you are able to practice in a regular schedule, not judging what you're experiencing, just seeing it just for the way it is. So I want to thank you for listening. If you have questions that you would like to ask me, just send it to this video broadcast and I will get the messages and I will respond to you if your email in fact shows up there. And so thank you very much for listening. I hope this gives you some idea of Vipassana practice and seeing things just as they are. Now, good night.